let's get to the face, shall we? So we're going to start setting up all the controls for our face. And we're going to start with kind of just the basic ones. So the nose, the jaw, the eyebrows. And then in the next video, we'll get into the eye setup there. So we set up all of our joints. They're all just oriented to the world. So we don't need to match um, our controls like we did with our arms. Um, we don't, they're already going to be default to that. So we just need to make and connect those controls. Just like we've done before, we're going to create just a nerve circle. We'll start with our jaw control. I'm just going to leave it like that, and I will rename it jaw_C for jaw control. And then I want to group it, Control G, and I will name it jaw_C_GRP for group. And then I'm going to take that group and I'm going to move the group. We've done so many times before. We're going to hold down our V key. That will help us snap to a point. And just going to snap to that jaw right there. Okay, our control is obviously kind of buried in there, so we're going to grab our control points. So hit F8, drag the selection there, and I'm just going to move these down here, and I'm going to shape this a little bit. So I'll scale it in a little, and I'll grab these, rotate it up, and just kind of move it up, rotate it some more. Yeah, maybe I'll grab these and just pull that down, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. Nice little jaw control. Yeah, I'll go with that. Okay, and then it's just going to be a normal parent constraint. So we'll select our control, shift select the joint, and go to constrain, parent. We'll just make sure maintain offset is on, and click apply, and we are good. Now we have some control for our jaw. Hooray! Okay. The jaw control, we'll grab the group. It's just going to be parented to the head control. So with the group selected, we'll shift select the head control and parent that. And then we're going to make our nose control. So we'll make another nerve circle, and we'll call this nose_C for control. And we're going to group it and call that nose_C_GRP for group. And then I'm actually going to select that control and go to the channel box where I can get to the history of that. And I'm going to change that from cubic to linear. We'll make a nice little octagon there. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. Okay, I'm going to grab the group again, and with my move tool selected, I'll hold my V key once again and snap that up to where the nose is. Make sure we're snapped right on there, just like that. Okay. Again, hit F8 to go into component mode, and we're going to grab all those control points. And I'm just going to rotate that up 90 degrees. Remember, check your tool settings and turn on your step snap, 15, 40, 5-degree angle, whatever angle you want, just to help you rotate that without too much problem. So then I'll move that out, and I'm going to make that a little skinnier like that. And yeah, it's kind of got a long, skinny nose. down. And move that down here. Okay, yeah, that's good. So F8 to get back out, and then we just need to set up our constraint. So I'll just select my control, shift select the nose joint, and go constrain, parent constraint. Now that is set up. This control is also going to be a child of our head control. So I'll select the control group for the nose, shift select the head, and hit P to parent it. And now we have a nose control. Wonderful. All right. And then we need our brows. So we're going to have 3 controls that we're going to make for our brows. So you can shape it individually, but a lot of times it's nice to be able to grab all of them and move them around. So we're going to make one big universal control that is going to be the parent of those other controls, so we can move those around all together. So we're just going to use NURB circles again, and this is just going to be our left brow inner control, and I will group that to itself and name it left brow inner control GRP for group. And then I'm just going to move that on up. Snap it up here. I'll hit F to frame it and go there so we can see joint a little better, right like that. Okay, I'm just going to take this control, grab the control points again, rotate it 90 degrees, and shrink that down. Yeah, probably something like that. It's probably pretty good. All right. And then I'm just going to grab that group and I'm going to duplicate it 2 more times for these other controls. So Control D, and then I just have to rename these. So the first one will be our mid control, and we're going to rename the control and the group, and mid control. And then our other one's going to end up being the brow outer control, and I'll rename the control itself as well. Okay. All right, and I'm just going to grab the group and hold down my V key and snap it to this other one. There we go. Let's do that. Make it a little easier to see. Okay, that's good. I'll grab the outer control group and snap that to that joint. And then I'm just going to move these controls out so that they're not buried in the mesh. So just pull that out a little like that. Maybe I'll even turn it. Here we go. Move that back. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing with this guy. Move that out. Maybe rotate it a tiny bit. And move it back. Okay. This one's pretty good, but I will just pull it out a little. Like that. Okay, so I have these 3 controls. Now I'm going to make a one control to kind of rule them all. All right, so I'm just going to grab the left mid brow and I'm just going to duplicate that group there. And this one, I'm just going to call it my left brow control. So it's going to control all 3 of them. And we'll rename that to just the left brow control. There we go. All right, and then I'm just going to reshape that. So I'll select the control here in my channel box so I'm not accidentally selecting my left mid brow control. And then I'll hit F8 And I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. Rotate that like that. Make it bigger. And a little taller. Okay. And now I can start shaping this a little bit. Rotate it like that. Okay. And I'll grab these points, move them up a little, and then maybe this one, just kind of shape it a little bit like an eyebrow. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. Okay. At F8. Okay, so I have my one control, and I just need, maybe I'll take this. I'll just move these back. Like that. Okay. Yeah, so much better. All right. Okay. So I'm going to take these individual control groups, and then I'm going to shift select my main control, and I'm going to hit P. I'm going to parent it so you can see they're all children of that. And now I can take that control and just move all three of them if I want. Oh, and we need to set up all of our constraints. So let's select our control, shift select the joint it should be controlling, and go constrain, parent constraint. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to hit my G key. That's just going to repeat the last command. And that again. Now we're going to see some real movement. Nice. Okay. So now that we have that, we just need to do it on the right side. So we're going to do the same thing we've done to mirror our controls over. So I'm going to select that main group, and I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to group it to, well, let's do this. I'm going to select both of these and parent it to the head control. And then if I hit F over here in my outliner, it will frame my selection. So I can see here's the group that I had duplicated. And I did that just because when I group that again, it's going to use the parent, which is the head control, as where it's going to place its pivot point. So Control G, so see, there it is, right there, as opposed to placing it way down on the ground. I mean, I could totally do that, but I like keeping things local. So this is going to be our right brow orient group. And then we just need to rename everything. So we'll go up to modify and search or replace names. And we're just going to look for L underscore and replace with R underscore. And click apply. So everything should be renamed. We'll get rid of that one. Then we're going to go to our orient group, and we're going to change its scale X from 1 to a -1. And that will mirror it across. We need to do the same thing and set up all of our constraints. So I will select each control, shift select the joint, do constraint and parent constraint, and hit G to repeat it for each of these. So now both of our brows are set up, and they're going to mirror each other in their functionality. So, which is kind of nice. Okay. Now, just to clean these up, we just want to color our controls, make them look all nice and pretty. So I will select my left brow control and go to my attribute editor and go to the drawing overrides, enable overrides, and I'm just going to change that to the nice bright blue. And I'm going to change each of these to kind of that lighter blue right there. Make them a little different. All right. Last one right there. Okay. Then we're going to do red on our right side. Keep things consistent. There's our red. And then I'll use kind of that pink right there on the individual controls. So that. There we go. And our last one. There we go. All right. Okay. We'll make the nose yellow. And then I will do the chin. Have that be just a blue. Yeah. Could do yellow, which is normally what you do for center, but it's so close to the actual head control. I'm going to choose a different color. Do that. Ooh, that's hard to see. Okay. We'll just keep with the brighter blue. All right. So yeah, so that's all of our basic setup that we need for our face. Now let's get into setting up our eyes.